So some people will say there's nothing there. So as an entrepreneur, we see there's nothing there. Oh, that's fantastic, right? Then otherwise, why they need us for, right? So that's why we add value.
Basically, you can eat anything right now over there. Over here, we are eating the most $3 plate chicken rice.
No, now $4.
$4. Okay, but over there is $4 US dollar.
It's very good to be a Singapore company or Singaporean. You can apply for MRA grant.
Oh, still got grant.
I have to plug for ESG.
So, ESG, thank you for the grant.
MRA grant to help you to expand overseas.
Okay, welcome back to the TFC Business Show. I'm your host Reggie, aka your Chief Financial Coconut. I am with the Singapore Cambodia Venture Club, right? And I see they're very active on LinkedIn now, right? So I wanted to find out what's so exciting about Cambodia and all that good stuff, right? So maybe go one round, introduce yourself, Chairman first.
Oh, hey Reggie, thanks for having us. Yeah. We've been wanting to get on the show for very long, so finally we got a chance. So I'm Kevin. I'm the president of the Singapore Cambodia Venture Club. So I've been doing F&B and retail businesses for about 20 years. I'll share more later as the segment continues.
Stay tuned. Okay, come, yes. And for the rest.
Okay, so I'm Dylan Ong, the Executive Director for Hong Lai Huat Group. We are a public listed real estate company in Singapore. And we have been in Cambodia for the last 18 years.
18 years.
Yes.
So you were pre-Singapore Cambodia Venture Club. You were already in the venture there.
Precisely.
Okay, great. We'll chat more later. Yes. And you?
Hi everyone, I'm Dennis. Okay, so happy to be here. I've been wanting to come on this podcast for a long time.
You all better mean it, I tell you.
When the invitation came, I said to myself, I must be here. So now I'm Dennis. Okay, I'm the CEO for the House of Brands. We specialize in scaling F&B, hawkers, or not hawkers. We have a Michelin rated Nasi Lemak and Taliwang. The Michelin Big Goma.
Taliwang is yours.
Warung Pasar Pari.
Taliwang.
Okay. So yes, Nasi Lemak and Mee Soto, and we also help our young hawkerpreneurs like Tan Lau to scale over the island. So this is what we do.
Awesome. Okay, so I think the perennial question for today's panel is why Cambodia? Of all places, right? There's so many places to go. So
right.
Yeah.
For me, my perspective is that Singapore companies now, we need to internationalize. So a lot of people are looking overseas. So Cambodia happened to be a right fit for us for a couple of reasons. One is that the population is young. I think the average now is about 26 years old. So young population means customers and also means workforce, labor force.
What is our
average?
Singapore?
Singapore now is at 43.
Okay, what lang lao liao?
Very experienced.
Very experienced. Oh, very PC, very good.
So we are experienced, they are young and energetic. So we thought we could marry these two and create sparks. So, transfer knowledge, share more of our processes. We're very lucky to be born in Singapore. So we managed to go through the last 20, 30 years of fantastic growth. We learned a lot. So I think it's time for us to export these blessings that we have to other countries that need it.
But there are many other countries. It's not one day you suddenly stand up and say, oh, let's go Cambodia, right? Something must have happened.
So, it's a bit of random actually, like a lot of things in our life. I happened to go on a trip with a business delegation this year. So when we reached there, so before you go, everybody's talking about, maybe, is it safe? First question as Singaporeans, is it safe? Because of all the social media and all that.
The news is not helping it.
That's right. But when you touch down at the airport there and then you look and you feel with your own eyes and ears, then you realize, no, it's not true. Right? And they are at a very good stage of development, quite similar to us maybe 25 years ago. So there's a sense of deja vu. Say, we've seen this before. Right? And we kind of know what to do to a certain high degree of certainty.
For our younger audience that have not been 25 years ago, right? Like, maybe when they're 25 years ago, they're like 10 years old or something, right? Like, can you kind of elaborate for all these young entrepreneurs, maybe second gen, maybe upstart, like what does it mean by Cambodia looks like Singapore 25 years ago?
So one thing again, a younger population. So younger people means they go out more, they patrol more, they go cinema more, they eat more, they spend more. They can lah, because health doesn't restrict them or life haven't caught up yet, right? So
This one got very loaded, the energy. Life haven't caught up yet.
life haven't caught up yet.
You will know.
You will know. So go there, enjoy first. Yeah. So those are such an environment is generally very good for consumer businesses, especially young, growing middle class. They're looking for better products, better services, better brands. So when we reach there, all of us realize 70% we know this thing works. Right, the other 30% is what are the local challenges. Nothing is perfect, right? Beyond the trip, then we went a couple more times, and then we realized that this is something that we can do. They'll ask why not Vietnam? Why not Indonesia? Right? I think maybe we are a little bit late to the game for these countries, and they don't need us that much in that sense, because they already have so many people doing. So Cambodia, I think, is the right fit for Singapore SMEs where we can add a lot of value.
Okay, fair. So is Taliwang entering Cambodia?
I would love to definitely. Oh, why not?
So do you all resonate with whatever Kevin just said?
When Kevin first brought the idea to me, I was like, wow, you know what? In my previous company, we were actually at Cambodia. Before the pandemic, we have 3 restaurants down there. So I was sharing him for consumer mindset, where Cambodia don't have this workforce problem. And indeed, they're all very young. We're talking about 65% of people then was below 30. And then very ample workforce, so manpower is not an issue. Rent, very affordable. And you can see the growing middle class, longing for, I want to have international cuisine, I'm able to spend more, I want to have more options.
Yeah.
And then we would love to be one of the options. And when he brought the subject, I said, hey, you know what, you got the correct destination to be with. Go for the venture club, be the chairman, lead us into this wonderful land.
He's saying, I want to go, but I don't want to 做老大. You do the hard work, I follow. I think it's not hard work.
No, pioneer.
Pioneer.
To add on what Chairman has mentioned earlier on, for us, Hong Lai Huat group, we've been there for the last 18 years.
Yeah.
So the first question also come to my mind 18 years ago when I was just a student, when my father said, let's go to Phnom Penh. I said, where's Phnom Penh? So I think if you ask me back then, I think we all know Bangkok, Vietnam. And where's Phnom Penh, you see? But upon you first arrived, 18 years ago, and compared to now, I can safe to say my passport, basically 99.99% has Phnom Penh chop more than any other countries I visited. So in the last 18 years, we've seen the growth of the country from very basic thing like upon you arrive at the airport, you got to take the stairs down until the Aero Bridge is there. There were not a lot of tall buildings back then, but right now, when you go, high-rise building is literally everywhere. And as recently, I like to say that why I joined this Singapore Cambodia Venture Club, because I was very impressed with Kevin's passion, the idea of basically wanting to bring this solid business community to come together and find that synergy to see what opportunities we can work together here.
Fair.
So why people will commonly misunderstand is Cambodia is a country where it's not safe, but Singapore Airline flies 3 times a day, and you have Emirates, you have Jetstar here and there, and the ambassador over there is a lady also. So is it safe? People have to find out themselves.
Fair. If you go to Phnom Penh, you will see it's actually very beautiful.
Very beautiful
The
country.
Mekong River alongside, very nice. A lot of international
that's correct.
brands, all the French and all that.
Precisely.
It's
Precisely.
very interesting,
Yes.
right? So, but you've been there for 18 years.
Yes.
Right. So you're ahead of the club. Right. So, right. This is a founding member.
Yes.
Okay. So that means you already buy in. He didn't need to convince you. Right. So from that point of view, how has business been like for you guys?
I think it wouldn't be much of convincing but rather that is the passion that attracts what I want to do with him. to be able to share our experience of doing business in Cambodia for so many years. You know, because when we first went in, we actually started as an agriculture company over there.
Wait, I thought you are
So yes,
construction
we are
building.
construction, we are building.
not built
But
material.
in
Built environment,
2000, back then when we went in, we actually first started on agriculture.
Really?
So we actually developed this land size 1/7 the size of Singapore.
What?
1/7 the size, yes, correct. And at
Wow.
our peak, we literally have about 500 people working for us over there.
Agriculture.
Yes,
okay.
that's correct.
So
But-
actually planting and harvesting things.
Yes, that's
Sorry,
correct.
I sound very
That's correct.
like,
Swaku,
yeah, very swaku, yeah. Need to plant, harvest, agriculture. Yeah.
But
Okay.
yes, I mean we have sort the things ready. So
Okay.
right now it's just fully focused on property.
Okay,
Property
okay.
and real estate side, yeah.
So it's kind of, in some ways, is your way of risk managing. You buy the
Yes.
land, you grow your land bank. Meanwhile, you monetize the land with some sort of agriculture. Then as you get familiar, then like, okay, I can build on it.
No, I would say, you know, most importantly is the policies that were being put in place back then. You know, that
Ah.
actually of all countries, and people will commonly ask why you will go to do the agriculture in Cambodia or even consider to enter into doing business. Definitely it's the support from, you know, the friendly, what's that called, the investor friendly policies from the government that makes us went in
Yeah.
and, you know, get into this country, setting up our base over there. I think my boss always says he's actually planning to be there for just a couple of years, and a blink of an eye is 18 years. And next year we're gonna be 19 years.
Yeah. Can elaborate a little bit more? What does it mean by investor-friendly environment or business-friendly environment in Cambodia?
You wanna go ahead?
yeah.
Okay, maybe you all share a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
From what I know.
Chairman say everybody must say.
Yes.
Share.
No, we got different perspective. So I think the government has been really, really welcoming and warm hosting Singapore delegation. So the last round when we were there, we actually hosted the Prime Minister's office,
Wow.
PM office, and also the Ministry of Tourism. So we work very closely with the government there. So a lot of dialogues, very open, you know, very helpful. Same for all the trade associations. So while we're also bringing knowledge there, we're also learning a lot from them in terms of collaboration. I think that's something that we could improve on as a community. So even if you're in the same trade, why can't we collaborate to grow the pie? Right? Singapore is so small, right? Over there, compared to some of the other investment options, investment countries, you can own 100% of the business over there without needing a nominal director. So 100%.
So I don't even need a nominal director.
No, it's all yours. It's all yours.
So I can be the director and
Yes.
own 100% of the company.
Yes. That's compared to a lot of the other more
That is
developed.
as friendly as it gets.
Yeah.
Correct, right? That's a
Yes.
fair point, right?
That's right.
Okay.
You can also buy property. So any strata property, as long as it's not ground level, no land, you can buy 100%. No
Okay.
issue, freehold.
Okay.
So I plug for him lah. Condo freehold less than 100K.
Must buy. Please talk to him. Yeah.
Okay. So what about your experience?
Okay, so F&B wise, okay, I've been to Cambodia, Myanmar even, okay, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Malaysia. I would say that Cambodia, I agree with what Chairman said, okay, totally 100%, okay, foreign direct investment are very welcome. But most of the trade, that's why he says, okay, you can only 100%. Okay, no restriction, no nominal directors, no other, linkage to someone, you get to know, no, you're free to do for most of the trade. And I find that the protection wise, legally, okay, while there's some, you need to adjust a little culture, but generally they are very welcoming. They will help you to, get around it, okay, get over it and get the business started. And I can see that they are trying their very best to tear down many of the roadblocks, okay, that we might face into as a small F&B
Like what?
players.
Like what?
Export. And we may have some, in Indonesia, you need to apply for ML line, where it may take ages for us to export our coffee in. But in Cambodia, they make it relatively easier even through the proper channel. Yep. They understand that, okay, you relatively needs the raw material that comes in, your trainer, your equipment from other countries, declarations, they make it very simple for you. I find that very inviting. And people are ready to embrace this very challenging landscape down there. Yeah, people are changing.
Interesting,
Yeah.
interesting.
The policies are changing.
Interesting. So the supply chain in itself is a big complexity when an F&B company enters into a new market altogether.
Yes. So if you insist that I quote a hardship, I actually tell you the only hardship I have is the condition of the road that the trucks has to navigate to reach my store. Always pothole, okay, must avoid. But other than that, okay, in terms of clearance of the customer, whatever, they make it relatively easy for you.
Okay.
And this is something that is needed in my trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair. What about the built environment trade? I only recently learned this one.
I think for a developer, definitely we do see a fair share of the challenges over the years, because when we develop a property, maybe you take this opportunity to introduce our project also.
I can let you
So
plug. But if you plug too long, I will say invoice.
No problem.
Yeah.
So far we have developed 2 condominiums over there.
Okay.
The first project was 737 residential units and 67 commercial units. The other one is 851 residential and 50 commercial, which was recently completed. I think the biggest challenges for us as a developer is definitely how you could convince foreign investors, some who may not know Cambodia that much yet, that actually there's practically no restriction on buying a condominium to invest. And the ROI is when you do enter at the right timing, it's significantly higher than where you could possibly develop a project in this scale, especially. On the part whereby we're talking about investor-friendly policy, when you develop a project, you need to apply the development license, the sales license. Basically, they don't make things difficult in the sense that you need to go through a lot of channels here and there. But in fact, actually, the process is quite smooth. You see, it's quite smooth like Singapore. We applied everything and it comes out very quickly. The government, you have any issue, you approach the ministry, they're very helpful to support you. So we so far we are quite lucky in the sense that over there over so many years, able to see the country grow. And definitely, I think I always commonly share one of the most important is the prices of the property is going up very, very high. So 18 years ago, a typical shop house will cost you 30,000 US. Right now, possibly 300,000 or 500,000 even more. Yeah.
Wow.
So much higher than
Okay.
that. And that's in the city, you see.
Yeah, historical does not mean future. Okay, just to be clear on that.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer important. This is not financial advice. Okay,
Yeah.
but on that note, right, it sounds very rosy, but nothing is ever that rosy, right?
course.
So what are some of the problems that you experience or some of the hiccups that you hope can be better?
So something I hear very often as I was exploring Cambodia is that people say a lot of training is required. Not because people are lazy or they're not clever. It's because at the stage of development, they have not been exposed to a lot of things. So sometimes, like Singapore F&B outlets, for example, is down to two aunties running a whole F&B outlet, right? So, but down there you see 15 people.
Our auntie here is very powerful.
Yeah, very productive. Very productive.
Can
One
scan
to run
card,
the
ask
show.
for point, open up, pack. Our auntie is top solid one, really.
Yeah, so down there you will see 15 people doing the same thing. But it's $1 an hour, the salary, right? So what they lack in that knowledge, they make up for quantity. So where we can go, I think, to help them with this training, knowledge transfer. So you mentioned cannot be everything rosy. So rosy is abundance of real estate, abundance of labor. So these are challenges that we have here. But not rosy is, or the challenges are that they don't have the knowledge, the technology, the systems. And that's why I think it's a good marriage for Singapore and Cambodia, where we can bring all these things that we have learned due to our constraints and implement it over there. Right. So that's what I see from an F&B service perspective.
Okay, fair. What about you guys?
Okay, so my own experience is that, there's abundance of workforce, yes. But in terms of they're relatively low skill. So
Very
yes, you need
low
to
skill,
make up in numbers. You do a fine dining, I'm very sure that you need a lot of training. In fact, you probably need to import trainers to go in. So this is one not so rosy part. And the other part
Actually, when I was in Cambodia, right, I felt like the restaurant industry is very small. Right, back then when I was there, because my theory is because the disposable income is not at the level yet. That was about 8-9 years ago. Not at the level yet to develop a restaurant industry. You know what I mean? So everybody tapao from home, and they bring to work, and then they makan. Right, so it's actually very hard to find a place to eat. I don't know. That was my personal experience back then. Right, so is that a basis to think about? Like
maybe I could add something on
course,
this.
please.
For I think for the F&B wise, basically you can eat anything right now over there.
Wow.
I was still complaining to my mom back then. I said I had kopi here in Singapore for $1.50. $1.20 Sing, but I bought a big coffee there at Yakun for $3 US. And there is a lot of local Cambodians dining there.
Hey, Yakun,
Yakun,
$3.
and secondly, the chicken rice over there, the Singapore business that went there. Over here, we are eating the most $3 plate chicken rice.
now $4,
$4. Okay, but over there is $4 US dollar.
Yes, USD.
And they sell out by 2 p.m. each day. You can see the
Who
restaurant.
do they sell to?
Local Cambodian workforce.
Correct.
Yes, I can tell you, I won't be surprised sometimes when I come out from my office and I don't see my staff during lunchtime. They all go out and makan. They go out and eat.
So it's kind of like how in maybe a few years back we will go for like ramen or we'll go for like fish and chips. It's like outside food coming like we pay more. Actually, over where they are is not very expensive.
Well, you could technically find Genki sushi right now over there as well. You know, all kinds of Singapore.
Is Genki your member also?
Abe.
Genki, shout out to you. Okay, next time.
After this.
Okay. And then so ownership is one thing, right? And I think there are other intricacies because based on what you say, in other words, the businesses that want to explore Cambodia cannot be too small, right? They must have some sort of expertise already. They must have some sort of, market share in their home market already. You cannot try to go in and really start from nothing. It's a bit harder, right? Because you expect a skill transfer, it expects a system transfer into the market.
This is where SCVC comes in.
Yeah.
That's why the vision of this club is to basically create this exclusive prestige platform where Kevin brings all of the industry professionals in. So I wouldn't say that you need to have some sort of skill here, but rather so long you have that passion, like my chairman does.
Determination,
that
some
determination.
To spend, right?
Yeah, definitely. But I think it's not difficult to do a business in Cambodia, definitely for sure. But I always tell people who doesn't know the country, you need to partner with the right people over there. That's very crucial. That's very important.
And that's why you're syndicating the community here, and then go over to get
I think
safer
with
together.
SCVC, right, we simply lower down your risk appetite for this venture.
We wanna make it in the fact that in Singapore you want to buy a property, you look for property guru. So if you go Cambodia, you want to do a business, look for SCVC.
Okay.
We could help you bring out everything.
Okay. So what is the value prop then? What do you all usually do to kind of de-risk and all that?
And all this. Okay. So maybe a little bit about how the whole SCVC thing came about. So I think pre-COVID, all of us are so busy that collaboration wasn't top of mind for SMEs. And you're so busy, no time to think. Right? So I think pandemic was very painful for a lot of businesses. Although we Asian, we always don't say on. Everything good, But obviously it was very challenging times. And then among our generation, we are trying to foster a more open, collaborative mindset. But Singapore, as it is, has a lot going for it. But end of the day, our market is really small. And then we have no production, no agriculture, right? And for us, singular SME to go to Phnom Penh, for example, to open a restaurant, how do you justify this whole supply chain or your time to manage that one restaurant? It's not going to work, right? So, but if we're going together as a group of 20 and we take an entire street, which is one of our projects, we intend to do a Singapore street with all the brands that we have in our club, then it's a different proposition because then you can consolidate all the manpower. So one GM manages 5 to 10 brands now instead of one brand. One warehouse for the whole street, one logistics, one office, one everything, right? So there's a lot of economies of scale that come from collaborating. And instead of going in as individual businesses, we intend to go in as a consortium. So everybody maybe put in $30,000-$50,000. So 20 of us is $500,000, 1 million. So down here you could probably do a restaurant, right? Because of the
over there can run a street.
Yeah, so we have a street. which is nice, you know.
Finally, you can say, I bought this street.
Yeah, so we're a bit late to the game in some places. So there we see the opportunity to do that. And then also to export Singapore culture. So instead of Singapore chicken rice alone, now you have Singapore street. It's something we can be proud of, and then we can also promote more tourism over there. So if all of us already there, then it proves that it's safe, right? Yeah, then we can help to bring along things. So other than make money, we also want to contribute back to the people over there. So
Of course.
Yeah.
Fair. Okay. Any things to add on that? Or is that a similar experience that you have?
Wow.
Because you got quite a few brands.
Yeah,
I think people love
yeah,
here.
yeah. So okay. So put it very simple. So if this was not formed, okay, there's no Singapore street, no Dylan. Okay, I probably won't be there.
Yes.
Yeah, because they need to set up the infrastructure, the framework. So when I was small retailer, I asked, okay, so everything has been set up, and the environment is right, the market is correct, must go now. No, we cannot afford to wait for another market. There's not going to be a lot of this kind of market in future near us, you know. So we miss some of the countries like you know, in the past. We can't afford to miss now.
Okay.
Now there's never a good time. Now is the time. We felt.
Okay. But this is all opportunity cost, right? In a sense, right? Because you have X amount of capital on hand, right? And if I put in Cambodia, then I maybe cannot put in Indonesia, right? Or then maybe I cannot put in Vietnam. You know? So this whole, when I look at it from an overall landscape within our neighbors, right? You did say in the start, like, okay, Cambodia, has this, but you've definitely evaluated the neighbors as to why ultimately you decided on Cambodia. That is already the case that you built, but the relative case against the others, like Vietnam, why not Myanmar, why not Thailand, so vibrant, so like why why not all these other places? If today I have some money, then I want to join your club. Then I say, why Cambodia? Why not the others? What will you tell them?
Okay. So yeah, that's a very common question. So when we say Cambodia,
Common question.
second question. First one is easy, safe. Second one, why not Vietnam?
Okay.
So the reason why is once again, as a Singapore SME, for us to go to like Indonesia, I think we already missed the boat a little bit. It should have been 10 years ago. So you miss the Indonesian boat, if you miss the Vietnam boat, if you miss the Malaysian boat, don't miss this boat. Because you want to go in early enough that your money stretches further. Right, and a lot of these countries you cannot own 100% already, right? Because they have moved on from that.
As they move up, then they become tighter,
more
right? Because they already have some
Precisely.
stuff.
Basically, they don't need you, lah.
Yeah.
You want to go or not irrelevant.
You come, you follow our rules, right?
You can't even want to go in.
They don't even need, right?
Okay.
So many, like you go to Indonesia, F&B chain, hundreds of outlets minimum, or thousands. So you go there and open one cafe, like
You better be in the mountains. The cafe must have Huat,
Correct. So I think it's better of timing and the right fit, going in at a time where it's a good fit for us. And that's why we chose Cambodia. So like Vietnam, if you go there, open a Singapore street, so many, and we don't have Dylan over there, like. So property very important. So we probably do it at his property. We got a row of 10 shop houses.
Right.
Different brands. You also mitigate the risk in that way that if one brand is not doing so well, it's okay. So as long as a whole group we are doing well, then when we negotiate for any contracts, any location, it's as a group of 20. It's a huge difference, huge leverage.
Of course. It's like the strata property. After all the landlord tao tia, then they come together, say we gotta manage this together. You've seen quite a few cases of that here, right? Even in Singapore.
Exactly.
When you manage together, you can put marketing dollar together, you can theme it, you can build it.
Right.
It's so much better than if you do on your own.
We're like the total solution to the problem.
You know, just like our first project many years ago, in order to get to Sihanouk View province, you need 7 hours, I guess, plus minus from the old roads. So when we developed over there, people are saying, are you crazy? I mean, why you go until so far? But we didn't want to miss the train over there. And with the government coming up the plans that they're gonna construct a highway directly from the capital to the seaside province. That's why we went there. When they announced all the plans, and right now to go to Sihanouk View, you just need 2 hours maximum to travel there. So for this Singapore street that Kevin has mentioned, we're very lucky to be part of this journey as well, to be part of this opportunity, because for this second project in Phnom Penh, we we were very lucky in a sense. We launched it at 2019 December, and everyone knows what happens next. So it all came very quiet down, all the travel restriction. But when the management sits down and think that, should we put on hold the construction? Should we stop? I mean, we should not stop. We bite the bullet, we take the pain, and we construct the whole project. The whole thing has been fully completed, and we recently held our grand opening. So right now is the time. We have a platform. It is ready. The property is ready. Be it for you want to sell. You want to buy or invest, or just purely rent for business. Partner with a Singapore company, a Singapore developer like us. We are very open and friendly support to each and every new investors that comes in. Even for chairman, when it comes in, he also will trust us because we are Singapore businesses.
Okay.
That's definitely much better.
So I think Singapore Cambodia Venture Club should fly me in. Right, go and CC film for you.
Of course,
Okay,
we should do
a podcast over there.
Yeah. Go and take a look, right? See what's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the podcast there.
So all these sounds interesting. Sounds like there's something, but fundamentally it's still about making money, right?
Yes.
So what is the kind of margins that we are expecting, based on maybe relative to when you do a business here?
Margin,
I
can't really comment because I'm a public listed company, I can't.
See what you can. In general. I just want to get a general sense of what is the kind of numbers in the game.
So once again, from a consumer business perspective, F&B, retail, services, I think OPEX operating cost is about 10% of what we have to pay here.
Wow. Okay.
So for example, a lot of properties are $1 per square feet for rental. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's about there, $1 to $1.20 per square feet. Labor
now
cost
also $4.
We are maybe startup meeting. 30 years ago it was the same. So sometimes we say, if I could go back in time and do it again, what would I do? Right? So this is going back in time and doing it again by being more clever, right? So labor cost, part-timers, I think for F&B is about $1 an hour.
Right.
So which is also about 10%. So obviously, what are the challenges? Cannot be everything good, man. Right? You're talking about price point, they are about 15 to 20% lower than us.
Yep.
But that's still...
Wait, you mean like the selling point?
The retail price.
The retail price.
So
that is still a much bigger margin than running it here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So of course, disposal...
You cannot say too much.
There's too many people. But that's one of the reasons we are going there.
Okay.
Because not because of anything, but because of the surplus of real estate, abundance of labor. That's why this situation happens.
Okay.
Right. It's not because it's anything negative anywhere else. It's just that they have the right conditions for certain businesses to flourish.
Okay.
And then we talk about, so rent and labor is the two biggest things.
Yeah.
Electricity is not that cheap. So electricity is a little bit on the high side over there. It's about 25 cents, and it's all US dollars. We're talking about 25 cents per kilowatt. So electricity is a little bit on the high side. So you go to a lot of places, no aircon. Save electricity. Training costs maybe a little bit higher, right? So when disposable income, when I first went there, I asked them, hey, your salary 1 month $200. How come you're drinking $5 Starbucks?
What is it?
Boss, I don't save money. Right? For example, very young, it's not that they don't have a concept of financial concept. It's just that young, you want to enjoy, so you go out more. Part off, how can save money? You got to spend money, right?
You were part off for very long.
Yeah, I know.
You're not part off for better spend.
So they just had the right phase that these consumer businesses will flourish.
Okay, fair. But from a capital management standpoint, because you just say it's a US dollar thing, right?
Yes.
So what is the ease of moving money in and out? What's the kind of tax rates? How easy is it for me to, let's say get a mortgage there or, borrow from the banks, because all these kind of affect our overall view of deciding on businesses there, right? Especially for a big developer,
Okay, for
capital management.
I
so
would
important.
say over all these years, definitely raising capital is a challenge for real estate company.
Okay.
It's definitely because when you approach the banks over there, unfortunately, Cambodia doesn't have any Singapore banks yet, but we partner with all the foreign Malaysian banks. So if you want to get a larger capital to finance your business, yes, you do need to have some sort of presence over there to be able to get any sort of financing here and there. But as per for the limit wise, they do still have a certain limit cap per company. So I think this is something that eventually we as a long-term business developer over there, we hope that it can be improved for sure, you know. So for generally, I think for the current banks over there, they don't basically do any foreign financing for property yet. Yeah, which I think this is still something that they were currently evaluating. And they do not rule out the possibility of doing that in the future. Like, you know, for example, you go to JB, you want to buy a property, you will be happily to do that. But Cambodia, you know, for our general banks like CIMB, Maybank, they're still exploring all sorts of the possibilities like that. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. What about the more retail, the more like makan type of business, you know, because you know, it's definitely not like building a property. You know?
While you could probably get some micro loans or small bank loans from the local banks. But I will show you, probably if you compare the rates, right, relatively a little bit higher or higher than Singapore.
Is there a reference that we're going with? How many times? Oh, depends on the type of business.
Yes.
Okay.
Which bank and who you approach to.
About 60 banks over there.
Correct.
You can do a comparison. Majority is higher than in Singapore. And also you need to manage why I always said that the currency risk. Because they deal with their own currency and also USD.
Yes.
And sometimes the fluctuation between these two currency, right? There could be a good gap that you need to manage. Take that into consideration.
Okay. And that's a much wider discussion, right? There's a lot to go from there. Okay. So then from that point of view, essentially for Singapore businesses that want to go in, okay, there is a market, looks like there's an opportunity, but relatively it is a undercapitalized space, right? And it's under, like from a tech stack standpoint, they are still, maybe 10, 20 years back, right? So you must be prepared to enter the market in this sense lah. Yeah.
Cambodia has no foreign currency control, basically. So for us business, if you put $1 million in, tomorrow you can take $1 million out under a company, so-called like interco loan transfer. So they do not have all the restrictions. So for any investors, if they're worried that they put the money in, cannot take out, that is not true.
Exciting,
yes,
but then it
not
cannot
true.
come out, right?
Yes, that's definitely not true. You definitely can do that. Definitely you can do that.
Okay. Fair. And for our audience tuning in, if you have any questions, you can put in the comment section. We can direct to them, and then we can take it from there. But maybe any other things in closing, just for our audience. Maybe your next event, what you're doing next, just to give everybody a heads up.
So we were saying knowledge transfer, but really it's two ways. So next month we actually have a Cambodian delegation, business people coming to Singapore. So SCVC will be hosting them. So we work with the Singapore Chamber of Commerce over there. We introduce them to Singapore businesses. We show them productivity solutions, technology, companies here. So it'll be both ways. So November, SCVC will organize another trip over there. So if you've never been there before, come with us. Make sure you don't get kidnapped. You will be okay. Don't believe this social media.
The bar is very low, bro. The bar is very low. Can we raise the bar?
We'll show you all the opportunities over there. Right? And there are plenty, whether you are in property construction or you're in F&B. So some people will say there's nothing there. So as an entrepreneur, we see there's nothing there. Oh, that's fantastic. Right? Otherwise, why they need us for, right? So that's why we add value. So next month, Cambodian delegation coming here. Anybody interested to showcase their business can talk to us. I think it should be on the 14th to 17th of October.
Okay.
And then SCVC business mission to Cambodia. Is on the 5th to 8th of November.
Okay.
And then that's why Singapore is very good to be a Singapore company or Singaporean. You can apply for MRA grant.
Oh, still got grant.
I have to plug for ESG.
ESG, thank you for the grant.
MRA grant to help you to expand overseas. So don't worry, also covered.
We are beneficial of it back then when we started our agricultural.
Really?
So yes, Enterprise Singapore, very strong support.
So what is the Enterprise Singapore ecosystem there like, from when you're operating locally?
Well, I think of course they do comes in all kinds of support. Like for example, if you hire a local Singaporean staff go over, They do also have some certain supports over there. Secondly, which is what I mentioned earlier, or like what we were talking about, the interest loans wise. When ESG comes in, technically, if you take any ESG loans to go over there, is that the interest rate will definitely be much cheaper. Yeah,
But then there are certain criteria to meet.
Yes,
lah.
precisely.
Okay.
Certain guideline
Of
control.
course. They're giving
But
you.
That shows how much Singapore government is also very supporting of companies expanding overseas. So they will try to be there with you throughout the whole journey.
Fair.
So actually, it's when people tell me that actually you could get some grant for your foreign worker, I say I have no idea on that. Where was that?
But is it difficult to convince young Singaporeans to join you and manage in Cambodia? You know what I mean? Because Tauke cannot always be there, right? So
earlier on when we tap on the questions on the challenges wise, yes, I think for Hong Lai Huat to today, we still have a very big challenge of bringing in talents from overseas to go to work to Cambodia. Because when you advertise, say for example on the newspaper will have certain restriction. You cannot talk about Cambodia. So I like to tell the audience that don't believe everything that you read on mainstream media, that if I go to Cambodia, I'm simply gonna get kidnapped or something like that, which is not true. We are basically there 14 days a month, or the shortest will probably around 10 days. I think it's not that difficult to do a business over there, you see. But it's just that for us, the challenges is that we need to, when we interview new candidates, we do need to convince them that I got a good percentage of Singapore team and my boss himself is stationed over there.
Fair. And I think that's the beauty of Singapore businesses expanding into another place, right? Because you bring along a whole generation of Singaporeans that can, go regional and don't just try to like juan here, right?
Each other.
It's not easy. It's not easy. Any last things you want to say?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of having a platform. So like if you go there and open an individual restaurant, how can you afford a Singaporean to go over there and manage? Right? You
How much you want to pay? All your margins gone.
Yeah, right. You can't, right? So, but as part of a consortium and the platform that we created, then we can afford maybe one really good solid guy to go over there and do the knowledge transfer. So that's also part of economies of scale that we are hoping to achieve.
Great. So are you still hiring GM for Singapore Street?
We're still hiring.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Always hiring.
Always.
Okay, if you want to be the GM for the Singapore Street, right? You can email here. Okay, we'll put the
Or
link.
working for a developer.
Yeah.
You can come to us.
Okay. Awesome.
that, yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I hope to see you in Cambodia. And I think that's all for today. We'll see you in the next panel. And this is the TFC Business Show. Bye.